It's finally here. Ladies and gentlemen, Lego and Marvel are bringing us the final battle from Spider-Man No Way Home, which means you finally get to add Andrew, Toby, and Tom Holland Spider-Mans to your collection. So let's go on ahead and first and foremost, not waste any time and take a look at the full packaging. And I gotta say, it looks pretty freaking epic. It is a 900 piece set on the dot, which obviously makes it a little bit of a larger than usual set as far as the most recent releases, I guess, for Lego Marvel superheroes are concerned particularly. And it is stacked with minifigs. It includes 9 minifigs, which I think is incredible value. Or at least that was my initial response. Seeing 9 minifigs and 900 pieces in an official licensed Lego Marvel set for this particular price point is not horrible. Yes, I know for a lot of people who are non-Lego fans or maybe just kind of casual Lego fans, they look at a price point of $110 and say, holy moly, that's insanely expensive. But considering the current trajectory of some of the sets that we've seen, this is not really a horrible value, and it actually comes along with a pretty amazing selection of minifigs. So let's start on the villain side. We have Doc Ock, who looks pretty good, but for some reason in my mind, I still feel like his trench coat design, even in that final scene, is not this color of gray. I mean, even if you look at like the concept art from the film or any high resolution images, it has a bit of a greenish tone to it. It is supposed to emulate that iconic green color that Doc Ock is known for. Yes, it's a very dark shade of green, but it still should have at least some semblance of that green color scheme. And I just don't feel like they really captured that here, which kind of begins my problems here with this set. Is not really the fact that initially, when you look at the selection, it looks pretty promising. But then when you start really looking at the minifigs in detail, you kind of start thinking like, hey, is this really worth it? And if we look at the Green Goblin, I think this exemplifies my point even further. I think if you look at the concept art, if you look at the suit in the film, you can see that there was a lot of really cool attention to detail and just really cool armor plate pieces to the Green Goblin, none of which was actually captured here. I think that it looks a little bit too plain. The fact that there's no print work on the legs whatsoever, the fact that there's no print work on the arms whatsoever, just makes this feel a little bit cheap and dull. And when you're talking about a $110 set, you really feel like that premium element should be present. I have seen a couple of people point out that they don't like the design for the glider either. I don't particularly mind it. I think it looks plenty okay when you think about the fact that Lego very rarely does cast pieces that are unique for a specific character, and for something that needs to be brick built, I think this is relatively close to what we saw in the film. I also do want to point out that the Green Goblin will have 2 different print works for the face, and we can see both of them from the reveal so far. So he has kind of just the unmasked and smiling expression, and then he has the one with the goggles look over top. And for the final villain, or at least kind of the final villain here, we have Electro, who at first I was like, I don't really know if I like this design. But then when I saw a little bit high resolution images and we were able to see a little bit closer, I think that it looks pretty good. I think that it's really cool that they tried to capture that sort of electric star shape on the face. I think that actually looks really neat. And he comes along with so many different effect parts to make him look truly menacing, and surprisingly so. I think this is the best villain minifig in the set, and in my personal opinion, probably the 3rd best minifig included here overall. As far as the supporting cast is concerned, we do have Ned here, MJ. They also provide us with an image of Ned with Doctor Strange's cape, which I think looks cool. So those 2 are obviously must-haves when you're talking about recreating that final scene of Spider-Man No Way Home. And speaking of Doctor Strange, he is also present here. This is just a reuse minifig, nothing new as far as I could tell for this one. So if you don't have a Doctor Strange, this will be a nice way to add it to your collection. And then we get to the main event, and that is our Spider-Man, I guess, because this is probably going to be the selling part and portion of this for the vast majority of people. The reason why you're going to get this is because you finally get a way to add Toby Maguire into your collection. You finally get to add an amazing Spider-Man, aka Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, into your collection in Lego form. And you probably already have plenty of this particular suit of Tom Holland because it was available in a plethora of sets before. And I gotta say, for the most part, all of these look pretty great. I think they nailed it with the Spideys, which is really the thing that they had to get right. I think if any of the Spideys had any problems, this set would be very difficult to sell at this price point. But I think they nailed it. Tom Holland's minifig looks great. I think that the Amazing Spider-Man looks excellent. And as far as I'm aware, this is the first time that LEGO specifically titled this version, aka the Tobey Maguire version of Spider-Man, as Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And he looks pretty awesome as well. I know some people said, oh, he doesn't have the silver webbing, but if you zoom in on the images, you can definitely tell that he definitely has the silver webbing. It might not just have quite as much sheen as the previous designs that we've gotten from LEGO, but it is most definitely present. So we've talked about the minifigs, and again, we had some hits, we had some misses. We need to talk about the elephant in the room, or I guess the sand in the room, because if you read the description from LEGO themselves on the LEGO website, it actually says the following. A removable roof uncovers Sandman. A flip open rear reveals a portal, and a soft web wraps up the bad guys, and lots more features for this exciting set. Well, I'm not really sure what they're referring to when they say Sandman. Maybe he's just simply hidden still, and we will get to see some sort of a more impressive sand built component, because the only thing we could make out from the promo pictures on the box itself is that Sandman, I guess at this point, has just become an arm that is chasing one of the Spideys. So if they're talking about the hand being Sandman as a whole, I think that's kind of goofy. If we have a brick-built Sandman inside the Statue of Liberty head, then that would be awesome, because that gives the set even more value, and it gives us another villain. And yes, I do agree that it would have been awesome if they included a lizard big fig in here. If they did that, I think this set would literally be one of the greatest LEGO sets that they have ever done. And speaking of LEGO sets, let's talk about the build itself, because I've seen several people say they're not really sure how they feel about the build, whether it's worth it, so on and so forth. And I think that considering what we're getting here, I think they did a great job. They needed to balance the idea of having the scaffolding around the Statue of Liberty, because it was such a crucial part of the film. So I think they needed to figure out a way to include that, while also obviously building the Statue of Liberty itself. I think for the people that said, oh, I wish they would have just gone all out and built out the entire Statue of Liberty statue, I think that's crazy, because we're talking about probably a price point of like $700 if that's something that they went and did, which we would then see the same people complain that how could LEGO possibly charge so much money for such a giant set. And so to me, this really seems like a great compromise, where you get clearly an identifiable Statue of Liberty bronzified design. You do get the scaffolding, and I really, really love this new thing that LEGO seems to implement with these sets, where they give you this really cool looking base to make this almost seem like a diorama from the film, where you're meant to try to recreate a moment from the movie. I think that's an excellent idea. I think that this will make it a lot more displayable, and I think that it becomes a little bit more of a premium looking product just with that tiny little addition. I also really like the incorporation of the portals. They actually have two portal designs present here, one on the back of the statue's head, where you can see a clear print design of the Sanctum Sanctorum. So you are able to recreate the traveling from the sanctum to this point, just like it was in the film. And then one way up above that seems to rest on top of one of the scaffoldings, once again allowing you to recreate that moment of Doctor Strange making his presence known in the finale of the movie as well. And so to wrap up, how do I feel about the set? Well, I'm kind of divided, because on one hand, I am just extremely excited about the idea of a set like this. I think that in concept, this sounds incredible. When I describe to you in text what's included in this set, I think you'd probably get very excited as well. The problems really arise when you start to see the set, because I do feel like some of the minifigs under-delivered. So let me know what you guys think. Is this something that you will be picking up on August 1st of 2023, or is this a skip for you? Let me know down in the comments section below. Also, let me know which of the 9 minifigs is your favorite. And of course, if you'd like to check out another video that I uploaded on the channel breaking down Marvel's Spider-Man 2 trailer in depth, every detail covered, click the video you're currently seeing on the screen. Thanks all for watching. and have an absolutely fantastic day. Bye, everyone.